Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. As you know, we are studying chapter the fundamental unit of life. Okay, so we are going to start a new chapter. Be with us. I am going to explain you. First of all, I'll describe you what is the meaning of fundamental. Fundamental means something which is basic and important. Okay, and rest of other things start from it only. So what is the meaning of fundamental? Fundamental means basic and important. Basic and important. Okay, and if we talk about unit, so unit means a part of something which is complete in itself. A part of a thing which is complete, in itself. Okay, so thus we can describe the title that the fundamental unit of life means something which is basic and important and is complete in itself, and this is the part of life. This is known as cell. So what is that? This is cell. Clear? So thus we can say that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Clear? Here we go. We can mention that cell is the functional and structural unit of life. Why? Because all the living organisms, whether they are prokaryotic, eukaryotic, unicellular, multicellular, every organism is made up of cell. Because all living organisms are made of cells. Okay, and the basic structure of cell is common. Okay, and similar organelles, which organelles? Which are found in the cell. Similar cell organelles have similar function in different cells, whether they are present in the different living organisms, but similar cell organelles have the similar functions. Okay, so here we can mention similar cell organelles have cell organelles of different cells have similar functions. Okay, so thus we can say cell organelles are present in the cell and cell organelles are common in every cell. So whether they are present in the different cell, but similar cell organelles will have the similar function. This is the reason we can say that cell is the functional and structural unit of life. Clear? Next is cell. Study of cell is known as cytology. Okay, study of cell is known as cytology. Cytology is the branch of biology in which we study the structure of the cell. Clear? This is the cytology. Now, next we will talk about discovery of cell. Next we will talk about discovery of cell. First of all, Robert Hooke in 1664, what he did? He examined a cork cell. He examined a slice of cork under his microscope. Okay, and what did he found when he examined a cork slice under his microscope? Then what did he find? He find a honeycomb like structure. he find honey comb like structures there. Okay, and then he gave the name cellula. Cellula or celluli. Okay, so thus we can say, first of all, it was discovered, means cell was first discovered by the Robert Hooke in 1664 under his microscope, and what he did, he examined a slice of cork, then he found honeycomb like structure, then he gave it name cellula. Later it was described as cell. Later on it was described as cell. Okay, cellula is the Latin name. After the Robert Hooke, Anton von Leeuwenhoek in after Robert Hooke, Anton von Leeuwenhoek, what he did, he examined the same cork and he found a living form of cell in the form of bacteria, red blood cells. Okay, what did he discover? He discovered new living form of cells that were bacteria, protozoa, red blood cells, etc. Okay, so first of all, cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1664, and later on the new living forms of cells which were free living. Okay, we can mention they were free living forms. Free living forms. Okay, so he discovered the free living forms of cells. What were they? They were bacteria, protozoa, red blood cells, sperms, etc. Okay, they were discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Then cell theory was given by Schleiden and Schwann. Next is cell theory. What is cell theory? It was given by Schleiden and Schwann. According to cell theory, all the living beings, whether they are plants, animals, microbes, so all the living beings are made up of cells. According to cell theory, all living beings are made of one or more cells. Okay, and according to it, all metabolic activities takes place, or we can say take place in the cell. This is the reason they are known as functional unit of life. Thus, cells are known as functional unit of life. Okay, so here we have mentioned that all the living beings, whether they are plants, animals, microbes, every living being is made up of one or more cells. Thus, we can say that the cell is the structural unit because they are made up of cells. So, here the cell is the structural unit, but in these cells metabolic activities take place. Thus, we can say that these are the functional unit of life. So, here we have cleared why they are known as structural and functional unit, because all the living organisms are made up of cells. So, they are the structural unit of life and all the metabolic activities take place in the cell. This is the reason they are known as functional unit of life. Okay. Next is new cells form from the division of old cell. Okay, when the old cells divide, then they form the new cells. Thus, the new cells are formed. So, thus this is the cell theory which was given by Schleiden and Schwann. According to that, as we say that the cell is the structural and functional unit, and thus we have given the title it that the fundamental unit of life. Okay, so we have cleared by the cell theory which was given by Schleiden and Schwann that all the living organisms are made up of cell, and this is the reason cell is known as the structural unit of life. Then metabolic activities take place in the cell, and this is the reason they are known as the functional unit of life. Okay, and we know that the new cells form from the division of old cell. Okay, so this was all about the cell theory. Now we will talk about the shape, size and number of cells. As we know, different organisms have different types of shapes of cells and size. So, next our topic is shape, size and number of cell. Okay, here if we talk about shape, then cells are of different shapes. They may be spindle, spherical. Okay, they can be of any shape. Size, they vary in size. Okay, they can be 1 micrometer to 30 micrometer. They vary in different, they vary in plants, they vary in animals, they vary according to the structure of the animal or plant. Okay, number of cells, if we talk about the number of cell, if cell are present in the, if one cell is present in the organism, that it is known as unicellular. If more of the cells are present in organism, then they are known as multicellular. So, thus we can say on the basis of number of cells, organisms are of two types, unicellular and multicellular. What are unicellular? When the organism have only one cell. Organisms are made of one cell. For example, amoeba, paramecium, amoeba, paramecium and bacteria. Okay, they all are made up of one cell. This is the reason they are known as unicellular, and these are the example. Multicellular, they are made of organisms which are made of many cells. They are known as multicellular, like we, plants and animals, and human being also. So, these are the on the basis of number of cells, organisms are of two types, unicellular and multicellular. So, we have discussed about the shape, size and number of cells. Now, we will talk about the type of cell. So, on the basis of types, cells are of two types, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Now, we will talk about types of cell. Generally, two types of cells are there, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Okay. Prokaryotic cells which do not have well defined nucleus. Here we can say this is the structure of prokaryotic cell. Okay, thus we can say this is the prokaryotic cell. Here we can go that nucleus is absent here, nucleoid is present, single stranded DNA, circular DNA is present. Okay, ribosomes are present but they are of 70S type. Ribosomes are present because they are without membrane, and cell membrane bound organelle are absent. Okay, thus we can say cell organelles are absent because they are membrane bound, and in the prokaryotic cell membrane bound organelles are absent. Only ribosome is present because it does not have any membrane. Okay. Next is eukaryotic cell. Thus we can say true nucleus is present. Okay, and inside the nucleus, nucleolus is present, and well developed cell organelles are present. They have cell membrane. Okay, so we can say in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, the main difference is that in prokaryotic cell, well defined nucleus means true nucleus is absent, and in the eukaryotic cell, a true nucleus is present. Okay, it has nucleolus, and prokaryotic cells do not have any nucleolus. Clear? And they do not have any cell organelle. Even eukaryotic cells have membrane bound cell organelle. Ribosome, if we talk about the ribosome, ribosome is present in both, in prokaryotic cell also and in the eukaryotic cell also. Okay, the difference is that in prokaryotic cells the ribosome is of 70S type, and in the eukaryotic cell the ribosome is of 80S type. Okay, so these are the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So here we go with the differences. So here we will discuss the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Or we can mention prokaryotes or eukaryotes. Simple, means organisms which have well defined nucleus, they are eukaryotes, and prokaryotes, those do not have a true nucleus. Okay, so here we are going to discuss the different features, first of all on the basis of nucleus. Nucleus. So here in prokaryotes we can see a true nucleus is absent. True nucleus is absent. Okay, but in the eukaryotic cells we can see here a true nucleus is present. Okay, true nucleus is present. Next, we can talk about the respiration. So here we can see the plasma membrane. Okay, as the cell membrane bound organelle are absent in the prokaryotic cell. So first of all we will discuss the cell organelles, or we can say membrane bound cell organelles. Membrane bound cell organelles are absent in prokaryotes. Okay, here we can see no cell organelle is there, but in the eukaryotic cell we can find the different cell organelles like mitochondria is there, lysosomes are there, Golgi body is there. Okay, so these are membrane bound cell organelles and they perform different activities. Endoplasmic reticulum is also there, smooth and rough. So here we can mention in the eukaryotic cell membrane bound cell organelle. Now what are they? Mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, Golgi body are present. here we can see in the structure, mitochondria is present, and we can see that Golgi body is present, lysosomes are present, and endoplasmic reticulum are present. So, thus we can say membrane bound organelles are present in the eukaryotic cell. Okay, as here I told you that membrane bound organelle are present in eukaryotic cell, but they are absent in prokaryotic cell. So, here if we talk about the respiration, so respiration in the prokaryotic cell will be by the plasma membrane. Here this is the plasma membrane. So, respiration in the prokaryotic cell will be by the plasma membrane because they do not have mitochondria, and we know mitochondria is responsible for the aerobic respiration. So, another difference is respiration by plasma membrane because mitochondria is absent. Okay, and here in the eukaryotic cell, mitochondria is present. We can see mitochondria is present and it is responsible for the aerobic respiration. So, we can mention here respiration generally by or respiration system, that is mitochondria. Okay, here we have seen ribosome is present in prokaryotic cell also and in the eukaryotic cell also. Why? Because ribosome are without cell membrane. Okay, make a point that ribosomes are without cell membrane. This is the reason they are found in both. But the difference is in prokaryotic cell, the ribosomes are of 70S type, means they are smaller in size. But in the eukaryotic cells, ribosomes are larger in size because they are of 80S type. Clear? So, here we can mention another point. Ribosome are of 70S type. Okay, ribosome is a cell organelle, but it is without cell membrane. Okay, eukaryotic cell ribosome are of 80S type. Okay, cell wall, if you talk about the cell wall, generally in prokaryotic cell, cell wall is present, but eukaryotic cells generally it is absent. Only in few conditions cell wall is present. Okay, so next difference is in prokaryotes cell wall is present. Okay, and eukaryotic cells generally cell wall is absent. Okay, only present in few cases. So, these are the important differences or on the basis of their characteristics between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So, hope it is clear to you by the diagram also that what are the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Thank you.